Hey everyone, and welcome to part 6 of the Knuckles Chaotix playthrough, where this time around I'm making my way through Techno Tower 2. And this time around I'm partnered up with Bomb. Hopefully he doesn't blow up or do anything crazy. But before we can go up this elevator, you gotta let go of him. You can't just carry him onto certain platforms like the elevators. Now, as far as I know, every level of Techno Tower starts off with an elevator section. And the goal is pretty much the same throughout the entire zone. It's just to run around, zoom around, and get to the top of the stage where the goal post resides. Along with some pretty chill beats, as you can't go wrong with the music for Knuckles Chaotix, as I may or may not have said already. And it looks like I've got myself a bit of a situation here. Yeah, there we go. And then continue to make my way up here. I've already got all the chaos rings, so I don't have to worry about that. Boing. Just gotta boing my way up through this. And that's something that happens sometimes. I do apologize if these last couple of parts of Knuckles Chaotix end up being a little bit of a bleh to get through, but Big Knuckles coming at you. But there's just not a whole heck of a lot to talk about in Knuckles Chaotix at this point that I haven't already said. However, what can be said is that I got to the end of act or stage or level 2 of Techno Tower. And I got the secret bonus apparently. Despite the fact that I didn't get 50 rings to get the Chaos Ring special stage at the end. Which I still find it kind of weird to show up after you get all the Chaos Rings. But anyways, gonna keep things rolling right along here with Techno Tower 3. And it looks like I made a little bit of a screw up in the combi catcher. Because claw machines are a weak point for me personally. I'm not very good at them, and I've never been good at them. In fact, there's a plushie Sonic and a claw machine at my local Piggly Wiggly that I really would like to get at some point. But I just suck too much at claw machines. So because of that, here we got Bomb again with us. And once again, just zooming through the Techno Tower. Hey, it's one of the rare Badniks. Let's see what he's got going on. Ooh! Of course I managed to get hit, and I managed to blow Bomb up. But no needs to worry, as I'll just continue to keep moseying on along. I do feel like when it comes to Techno Tower, the Techno Tower levels are probably the quickest ones to get through out of all the ones in Knuckles Chaotix. As most of them you can get through in under a minute. Except for the boss stage, of course, because, you know, the boss stage. Here's another rare Badnik. Ooh, just barely avoided getting hit there. And it's looking to me like I'm pretty close to the end of the stage already. So even though I won't get to it in under a minute, I will get to it at some point. I thank all of you for tuning in this far to the Knuckles Chaotix playthrough, because it's been quite a journey this far. It's been quite a 32x adventure, despite the fact that I did not record this on 32x hardware. Although one of my friends did give me like an AV to HDMI converter. The only problem is, when I plugged it into my Genesis, the audio quality looked a little rough around the edges, so I figured I might as well just go with the emulated version to play it safe. Now, I could jump into that special stage, but I'm not going to. But that's going to do it for Techno Tower 3. Once again, going to keep things rolling along here, though. I love this little segue here back into the hub world. However, it's a segue into the next level thanks to the magic of editing. Unfortunately, no amount of editing can really prepare me for the dismal nature of Amazing Arena 5. As while this is the final Amazing Arena that I have to get through in the playthrough, this is probably the most offensive of the Amazing Arenas to get through because it takes the longest to get through. So I apologize ahead of time, but I'm going to do a little bit of fumbling around here in the darkness. His Amazing Arena is definitely the worst of the zones in Knuckles Chaotix in my opinion, and the opinion of other people as well. Like, I don't hate it, I just think it's probably the weakest levels in the, some of the weakest levels in the game. Another one of those rare badniks. Although I feel like in Amazing Arena is where you probably see badniks the most. Probably where they pose the most of a threat. So as in previous Amazing Arena levels, the goal here is pretty simple, you just gotta look for the light switch to turn the level back on. And if you don't make it there in time, you're screwed. So I'm gonna ride this UFO. Hey, it got me some rings out of it. There's a weird walking camera looking badniks there. And yeah, it looks like the light switch is just up above somewhere. It's around here somewhere. It's up somewhere. There it is. No, that's just a regular switch. I'll find it. Don't y'all worry, folks, I'll find it eventually. Otherwise I wouldn't have recorded this. But yes, Amazing Arena is definitely quite the mess to navigate at times. And it still really baffles me that this game has never been re-released or ported. I don't really understand that. Apparently there were plans at one point in time to have this on the Sonic Gems collection on the GameCube, but supposedly they were having a hard time emulating the 32X hardware, which doesn't make much sense considering it seems like a pretty easy task to emulate this kind of hardware nowadays. But maybe in 2005 it wasn't. Still, it just seems like this is kind of the black sheep of the 2D Sonic games when you think about it, because of the fact that it's never really been re-released. I feel like this and Sonic Spinball are probably two of the most unusual 90s Sonic games. Both are pretty much spin-offs that have very unusual elements and try new things, and basically just throw stuff at the wall, see what works. And I like both games for what they tried. And I especially like the soundtracks of both games, especially in Spinball. Oh, even if it gets Genesis twangy, sometimes I sure do enjoy plenty of the music of Sonic Spinball. And of course, if you haven't seen my Sonic Spinball playthrough, you can check that out on the channel. I feel like that was one of the ones I felt a little bit better about in retrospect. Because I think for the channel, that was like one of the first games I decided to sit down and practice for an ungodly amount of time until I felt like I was actually ready to record the game. Which, I take a very perfectionist-heavy approach when I record video games on the channel, I guess. As I practice games until I can no longer die in them, and once I no longer die in them, I feel comfortable with recording them. Although things still happen anyway. Yeah, there's that invincibility power-up. Just continue to mosey on, hey. Free of bomb. At least for now, anyway, as I've got Mighty the Armadillo back. Now for the next level, I will get back to switching characters around, as this was just kind of a combi catcher flub on my end. Take this fancy UFO over here. UFO oh and oh crap, I'm screwed now. Oh wait, I said bomb. This is heavy this time around. What playthrough am I watching? But anyways, no need to worry, folks, I mean, it doesn't make much of a difference. Bomb and heavy are both about the same, and they're both about as annoying. But yeah, you can't really do much when you have bomb or heavy switched over as the lead character. You just kind of gotta wait it out. Which I'm glad that you can't pick them as main characters, but it seems kind of odd that you can't. But I think that would probably make for a pretty miserable time in Knuckles Chaotix. I'm sure fan hacks exist. I'm sure there's fan hacks out there that restored Sonic and Tails to Knuckles Chaotix. I really should do some more research on these things. Oof. Yeah, I was worried there for a second that I got myself stuck. Oh no, what am I doing? I don't need to go back. What am I doing? Am I trying to go back? It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I recorded all this. Okay. Had myself kind of froze up there for a second. Okay, it looks like I am going back. You gotta think, folks, I recorded the playthrough like months before I finally got around to recording this commentary that you're hearing. Over here on the Fromark channel, it's quite a process getting videos ready sometimes, as I try to record stuff in bulk ahead of time, and that way if I ever need to go on hiatus or some kind of emergency comes up, everything's a-okay and I've got plenty of content ready to go. And I'll just slide through this tube over here, see what's going on in this tube. I gotta be getting close to the end of this level though, right? Oh yeah, wait a minute. Heck yeah. It's the Amazing Arena boss time, folks. Let's see what Dr. Eggman's got in store this time. He's got some kind of projector cutscene going on. There he is. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, I like this boss theme. Dun dun dun. Da 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 da. But most of the boss battles in Knuckles Chaotix are pretty easy to deal with. You just pretty much do what you gotta do. A lot of Eggman's attacks are pretty avoidable for the most part, and the ones that aren't, if I were to get hit, like I just did, you just gotta bonk him a few times, and then deliver a couple more bonks. The projector that he's got there spawns enemies, and bonk. And that's gonna do it for Amazing Arena, folks. Eggman flies off into space and whatever, and I got through Amazing Arena level 5. Thank God Amazing Arena's finally over with, and we can move back on to the other good stuff in Knuckles Chaotix. Sounds good to me, anyway. God, I never get tired of hearing that. Hey, Botanic Base, I thought I was finished with this already. Heck yeah, I'll take this. I like Botanic Base. My favorite song in the game, and my favorite level overall, I would say, or zone. But just like the rest of the levels in Knuckles Chaotix, there really isn't a whole lot to do. Just collect rings, avoid the few enemies there are, and run to the end. I love those little disappearing platforms. Fancy effects going on. Oh, and Mighty has been shrunken. Whatever will Tiny Mighty do? Seems like a bit of an oxymoron, Tiny Mighty. Anyways, eventually that will wear off, and no need to worry, really. But yeah, Botanic Base is probably the coolest, in my opinion, of all the levels of Knuckles Chaotix. And luckily for me, I've got a couple of Botanic Bases to deal with in this yet. But yeah, I feel like Knuckles Chaotix could have benefited from a few things, honestly. I mean, more enemy placement would have been nice. Less samey stuff going on with the level design. As well as, I don't know, less levels overall. 5 acts per zone is a little bit ridiculous. Heck, I thought Sonic 1 was pushing it with 3 acts per zone. I don't know, when I think of Sonic games and I think of zones, I feel like 2 acts is plenty. I feel like Sonic 2 pretty much laid that groundwork. Which is pretty cool that recently, at least at the time of recording this anyway, Sonic 2 turned 30. And it kind of got me to thinking... to some flashbacks of when I was a kid and I first learned about some of the release dates of Sonic games. And I remember when I was a kid, I taught myself how to make like cake. So I'd make like little cakes to celebrate the anniversary of Sonic games releasing. It's just too bad there really wasn't a mainline Sonic game the year and month I was born. That was supposed to be Sonic Extreme. I mean, the closest thing I got though was Sonic 3D Blast, which came out in the States on the Genesis I think a month and a day before my birthday. If I'm remembering right, it was November 7th, 96. And my birthday was on December 8th. And yeah, I'm not going to jump into that ring. Just let it rotate in the background there. And that's going to do it for Botanic Base Act 4. And that's actually going to do it for Part 6, folks. So I thank y'all for tuning in for Part 6. And I hope you all tune in for the grand finale of Knuckles Chaotix. Anyways, this is Fromark signing off. I'll see you then.